There are days that pass quietly, unnoticed, and then there are days that feel like the universe is holding its breath. This was one of those days. No one in the studio expected that a single sentence, softly spoken, barely above a whisper, would send shockwaves through the room. No one imagined that Jimin's eyes would immediately lower, trembling with tears he didn't want to shed yet couldn't stop. And no one, not even the producers, understood that they were about to witness one of the most emotional and historic conversations BTS had ever recorded. What started as a simple documentary session suddenly transformed into something far deeper, far heavier. The cameras were meant to capture routine moments, laughter, small arguments, behind-the-scenes banter. But the atmosphere shifted the second Jungkook inhaled, slowly and deeply, as if gathering courage he had been missing for years. Jimin, sitting across from him, felt something crack in the silence. He stiffened. He knew this wasn't going to be another casual conversation. What followed became the doorway into a truth that had been buried for too long. The energy in the room changed. The air thickened. Even the lights seemed quieter. Their memories, years of music, tears, victories, sleepless nights, pressure, and shared dreams, collided into an invisible weight that settled right between them. Jungkook finally spoke, but not as the confident performer the world sees. Not as the golden member millions praise. He spoke as a young man who had been holding back too much, for too long. His voice wavered, not with anger, but with pain he had never given a name until that moment. Jimin couldn't look up. He tried wiping his eyes discreetly, but failed. Every pause from Jungkook was like another page of a diary the world never got to read. The room echoed only with breathing, shaky, uneven, real. And then came the sentence that pierced everything. I was scared. It landed like a blow. Fear from someone who has faced the entire planet on stage sounds impossible, yet the way Jungkook said it left no room for misunderstanding. His fear had nothing to do with lights, cameras, or fame. It was deeper, more personal, more human. Jimin's tears came like a wave. Because he knew exactly what Jungkook meant, the fear wasn't about performing. The fear was about losing the people who made every step of that journey bearable. Losing the family they built. Through the years, the world saw their smiles, their awards, their stages. But behind all that were sacrifices, sleepless nights, doubts, and long moments of questioning whether they were enough, not just as idols, but as brothers. Jungkook, the youngest, often hid his vulnerabilities behind strength. But that day, his mask fell, and what remained was a person who had grown up too fast under too much pressure. He confessed that he had felt left behind sometimes. That he had silently compared himself to the others. That he doubted whether he was truly carrying his weight or simply slowing the group down. They were confessions that hurt precisely because they came from someone the world thought had everything under control. Jimin's reaction said everything his words couldn't. He cried because the burden Jungkook carried wasn't meant to be carried alone. He cried because he wished he had noticed sooner. Every second deepened the vulnerability between them, turning the documentary into an emotional turning point no script could ever create. Then came the moment that froze even the producers. Jungkook admitted he once thought about quitting. The word hung in the air like an earthquake. Jimin's head snapped up in disbelief. Jungkook, the powerhouse, the spark, the one who lit up every room, had once considered walking away because he feared he might break what they had built. Jimin collapsed into tears again. To him, Jungkook wasn't a burden, he was one of the pillars that kept them alive. And hearing that Jungkook doubted his own worth shattered him. He reached out and held Jungkook's hand tightly, silently repeating the message his tears already delivered: you were never alone. Not even for a second. Hours passed without them noticing. The room became a confession chamber, a safe place where years of pressure and unspoken fears finally had somewhere to go. Jungkook apologized, not for doing anything wrong, but for believing he had to be perfect. Jimin's quiet sobs were his answer. He wasn't angry, just heartbroken that Jungkook hid so much pain behind his smile. Then came the line that broke whatever strength Jimin had left. Hyung. I'm tired of being alone. The sentence didn't just sting, it destroyed. It peeled away everything artificial and left only raw, honest emotion. Jimin admitted that he too regretted not seeing it earlier. He had been so focused on being strong for everyone else that he didn't notice the one person who needed him the most. When the recording finally ended, the producers didn't dare breathe. They knew this wasn't content. This was history, the moment two of BTS's most beloved members opened wounds the world never knew existed. But the story didn't end there. A few days later, the footage was shown privately to all 7 members. None of them were prepared. RM nearly stopped breathing. Jin leaned back, trying to steady himself. Suga closed his eyes, not to avoid the pain, but to absorb it. J-Hope covered the rim of his eyes, silently overwhelmed. And Taeyong froze completely. When Jungkook confessed he once thought about quitting, Taeyong's shoulders fell. His face tightened. It hit him like a blow because he realized something painful. Even after all their years together, one of his closest friends had been hurting right beside him without him noticing. And when Jungkook said, "I was scared that one day I wouldn't be able to stand with you," Taeyong turned away, unable to keep watching. By the end of the screening, none of them spoke for nearly a minute. The silence itself became its own emotional language, heavy, shaking, unforgettable. RM finally broke it with a trembling voice. "We've been together for so long, but that night reminded me where we started. We're humans. And we need each other." What Jungkook exposed that night was more than vulnerability. It was the truth behind all the lights and cheers. It was the reminder that even the strongest can break quietly, that even the brightest stars have nights where they feel like they're fading. And Jimin's tears were the world's proof that love, loyalty, and friendship sometimes speak loudest through silence. That night didn't shatter BTS. It strengthened them. And it left one question lingering for everyone who witnessed that moment, both in the studio and in the viewing room. What pain could be so heavy that Jungkook carried it alone for years, and why did it take only one sentence to finally break the silence?